settlements of refugees, or refugee settlements, so to speak. On set, I'm joined by Sam Businge, Aspire Project Manager at DRA, as well as Ronan Ariro-Otto, a livelihood officer with the Aspire Project at DRA, to talk to us about some of the challenges that refugees are facing across the country. We do know that Uganda is one of the countries that host refugees in large numbers, but of course problems and challenges, including the drying of funding taps over the last 4 years, have again unearthed a new set of challenges, but we shall be delving into that very shortly. Welcome to Morning at NTV, Sam Businge and Ronan Ariro-Otto.
Thank you. Good morning, Andrew.
Let me begin with Mr. Businge. Talk to us about Aspire Project and what you are doing in as far as refugee settlements are concerned.
Thank you very much. Aspire Project is one of the 8 projects that is implemented by Adventist Development Relief Agency. Adventist Development Relief Agency is the development arm of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, whose aim is to serve humanity so all may live as God intended. So the Aspire Project is an acronym for Action for Strengthening Partnerships in Inclusion, Resilience and Education. And it's a multi-country project implemented in 6 African countries. But basically for Uganda, it's implemented in Bidibidi refugee settlement, one of the largest refugee settlements in Uganda. And of course, its focus areas is to ensure that refugees can get enough food, they can also get employment. The Aspire Project has 3 thematic outcomes. One is to facilitate climate-smart food production. As you are well aware that one of the key challenges that refugees face is being able to get their own food. So we ensure that we open for them gardens, we provide for them seeds. And one of the innovative approaches that we use is the block farming, where we ensure that each refugee is able to at least cultivate 1 acre. And in that particular same area, we don't only stop at production, but we also go into value addition, where we train them in post-harvest handling. We provide them with agro-processing machines. But also, the Aspire Project also supports in providing employment to especially out-of-school youth and the young youth who are in the settlement. And we basically train them in the agribusiness value chain, using the competence-based approach. Here we basically partner with Bugema University, who normally does the technical vocational training. And with these skills that they get, they're able to do their own jobs, be able to start their own businesses, but also be able to add value in some of the products that they produce. Thank you.
All right. I'm glad you talk about the block model, where some refugees are given land to be able to do their own farming and value addition. Mr. Otto, you are the livelihood officer, and I believe you are embedded within the communities and how they roll out some of these programs. Yes. And could you basically lay out a scorecard, so to speak, about the impact of these interventions?
Thank you. As Sam has said, one of the approaches that we are doing to ensure that we promote climate-smart food production is ensuring that we establish large chunk of land where, through the intervention of OPM, we are able to lobby for land from landlords. And currently we have over 500 acres of land that was opened by Aspire, and over 1,100 acres that was opened by farmer groups that we provide with the planting materials and other inputs. We ensure that these groups are able to produce food that is able to help them in their household, but the major reason is for them to be able to make money. With the categorization that happened in 2024, when World Food Program cut off the food security problem became even a little more enormous. And with the block farms, we have seen people are able to produce food, and they are able to meet their household food needs, especially replacing the monthly ratios that we are receiving from the World Food Program that is normal. But most importantly, we have gone ahead in Aspire to ensure that the food that is produced through the agro-processing machines that we have established, they are processed, and value is added to them. And by doing that, we are able to access markets beyond the settlement. We are able to go to the regional markets in West Nile. We are able to go to the border because Bidi is bordering.
Yes, along the border, yeah.
Yes, it's bordering South Sudan. We are able to tap markets in other places through value addition. And we are promoting the high-value crops of rice and cassava and high-value vegetable crops.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, in value addition and the ability of these refugees to be able to take their produce to markets, it speaks of a greater interaction away from the community itself. And this is where my question about the synergies with host communities, how are they being created? What is the relationship like? I think this is a question for Sam.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, the host communities are very generous because they provide land for refugees, both for settlement but also for agriculture.
That's right.
And of course, in terms of even establishment of even agro-processing facilities, the host communities are key because these are the custodians of the land. But of course, most importantly, the host communities also provide market because they are the main consumers of some of the products that the refugees produce. And one of the key areas of strength is that the host communities have been generous in ensuring that there is also peaceful coexistence as the refugees and the host communities can stay together. Because you find that when refugees were established, there was sharing of resources in terms of water, in terms of schools, in terms of even health facilities. So you find that the host communities are key in the sustainability of the refugees within the settlements. Thank you.
Okay. Ronan,
Yes.
there's a challenge I have often been able to point out, especially when interacting with officials from the Office of the Prime Minister, is that many of these refugees come from communities where they've been challenged. Of course, the conditions of their crossover lead to the need for psychosocial support.
Yes.
Now, in the process of ensuring that they are food secure and are resilient enough to add value to what they produce, have the mindsets of many of those who could still be grappling with the mental stresses of war being dealt with? How is the psychosocial support roll out?
Thank you. One of the objectives of the Aspire project is to enhance peaceful coexistence, psychosocial well-being, social inclusion, and gender relations among refugees and their host community.
That's right.
Through our counselors that are trained, we are able to provide door-to-door, communal, and group counseling to our members, offering them psychosocial support in the different stresses that they are having. You'll realize that psychosocial distress increased so much, especially last year, with the food cut, and we actually saw a rise in even suicide attempts that increased last year. But the counselors and our gender officers and our colleagues, and what we do in our farmer groups, because the biggest stress that people can have is to not have what to eat at home. That leads to house breaks, leads to people breaking their homes, people moving away, and the people who are affected most are women and children. So we, through our counselors, we are able to offer door-to-door, communal and group services to our farmer groups. But we also have, as I said, we also have a different category of youth that we are offering them technical vocational skilling. So our psychosocial support targets individuals, but also targets those groups in the groups in the farmer groups, the groups also that are doing bonga and the TVET group.
Okay, doing bonga, what is that?
Bonga, it's a dialogue group where we enroll adolescents from 13 to 19 years, where they come to do life skills training for 6 months. These are mostly people who have dropped out of school. They are teenage mothers, they are household children who are actually household, but most of them, the major majority, are girls who have fallen out of school and are mothers, teenage mothers. Yeah.
Okay, lastly, Sambu Singe, you talked to us about success and impact, but also in light of the dwindling resources available from the donors. That's a critical challenge. How are you navigating that?
Yeah, thank you very much. To give you one of the success stories, in especially food security, there was one group. It's actually our approach is we ensure that groups are formed into what we call cooperatives for marketing and bulking. So there is one group which is called Progressive Rice Millers. So this started as individuals whom we formed in 2 groups, and we formed them into a cooperative. This consists of around 13 groups and over 200 members. So we supported them with our block farming approach, where we ensure that at least each household has an acre. So we established for them over 182 acres of rice. And from last year, they were able to harvest over 235 metric tons of rice. Out of this rice, part of it were exported to local and national markets. I was even surprised to see that buyers can come from Arua, can come from Lira, can come from Gulu to come and buy from refugees. So we see that the refugees who are depending on food rations can be able to produce food and even support local markets and improve even the food security within the Greater West Nile. So this was one of the success stories, and according to their records, we saw that they had almost earned over 183 million. This was very astonishing for a refugee group to do that. And of course, we supported them with an agro-processing machine. Actually, that was the only machine that was available in the whole sub-county that processes rice. And they were able to process over 500 metric tons of rice for all the communities that are around that particular area. So this was one of the successes that we want to see, because we don't want to see refugees as only a burden, but we want them to participate in the economy, being able to involve in production, provision of services, but also paying taxes to the government. So this is one of the success stories, and that's not the only one. Even in terms of technical vocational training, for example, for last year, we were able to train over 300 youth in agricultural value addition. 80% of them were able to get employed. And one of the key approaches that we use is the problem-based learning. So we ensure that after them getting trained, they can be able to produce products. They are able to identify what are the challenges within the community, what are the products that the community need, and they're able to produce these products and they put them into market. And of course, with that, they are able to be self-employed and be able to sustain some of their families. So those are one of the successes that we have achieved at Aspire Project.
Thank you very much, Sam Businge, Aspire Project Manager by ADRA. Many thanks to you, to Ronan Ariro Otto, a livelihood officer and one that is embedded with the refugees in the settlement camps. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Many thanks for your insights as well as perspectives. That will do it for Take Note, but do stay with us. More conversations are coming.